Hey everybody, this is Gary of the OK Modeler channel, and welcome to episode 18 of the USS New Jersey build. In this episode, I'm going to try to work on getting the back half of the superstructure put together. Now, I started working on this fuel probe here, right here, and as I was working on this, I realized when I was looking at the Pontos instructions for a little more detail, I noticed that there were some railings down here and support beams, and I asked myself, how could I have missed that? And so I thought, well, does it show it on the other side? Oh yes, it did. Over here, right here, I missed that section. So I'm going to be putting on some railings over here and over there, as well as the railings over here. Then we can start putting stuff together. So I'll work on those railings and I will be right back. Okay folks, I got this railing for this deck piece all put together. Added a couple photo etch doors over here as well, so kind of give it a little more flair to it. I also added the support columns here and over here. This one is unevenly spaced, so that's okay. All right, so next, and this railing over here broke at the corner. I kind of bent it too much, but that's okay. So next thing I'm going to do is add some glue to this and then glue that deck on there. And again, I'll be using my favorite, the orange glue. All right, here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and add it right here. Yeah, that's probably too much. Perfect. And then push down. All right. All right, I think we are done with that one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add the Tomahawk missiles onto that deck that I just put down. And I'm just going to keep hitting the camera because that's what I keep doing. Maybe I should move my stuff a little bit. Put on the thin set glue here. And hope that sticks. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. All right, the next step I'm going to work on here is the fuel rig here. I got the pieces from the Pontos kit cut out, folded, and ready to go here. The fuel rig right here when you get if you get the Pontos kit, it's flattened out. So what you need to do is bend it together. And you want to make sure that your bends are going to be right where the hoses are right here, if you can see it. The last thing you want to do is have it move too much, and then it's not going to look great or symmetrical or even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get some super glue or CA glue and just kind of slowly go along here, so that way I minimize the movement of the brass piece. All right, let's see what I can do here. Hopefully this close-up is going to be a lot easier or helpful for you. So right now I'm more focused on trying to line up the hoses together. And I'm just going to work a little bit right here. Squeeze. All right, well, let me keep working this off camera, and I hope you guys get the idea. All right, so I got this fuel rigs glued on. Took me a couple tries, but I think I got it down. So I'm happy with that result. It may look a little messy, but once I paint it, it'll hide all the flaws. That's okay. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and put that on here on the rig itself. I did have to erase some of the platforms that was molded onto this. Since we're adding these detailed pieces on here, it's not necessary to have these molded platforms. That's what I was looking for on this kit here. So if you're doing the Edward one, I believe that you keep these molded platforms on here, and they have the railings to go on there. So, but double check those instructions. It's been a while since I worked on an Edward one here. So I'm just going to go ahead and work one side here first. Hopefully my glue isn't going to mess everything up. That'd be a crying shame. But I do have a plan B. And that plan B is not adding this thing on here. All right, let's see if I can get this at least seated. Not quite there. Let's just kind of widen this a little bit. All right, let's try this again. All right, well, maybe I need to rethink this. All right, maybe I got this on here. I'm gonna just let this dry for a little bit and then I'll come back to it. All right, after some fiddling around with this, I got this this rigging or whatever you want to call this. Gosh, I gotta learn the names of these things. But this on here took a while. This kept sliding off and further in, so I kind of had to widen it a little bit, add a little more glue, so I'll have to clean that up a little bit. But looking good so far, and all the stuff that you see here, well, you know, all the super glue that's on there, I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to risk damaging it or anything, and it's going to get painted, so it's going to look fine. So anywho, all right, so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these platforms on. This one goes right here. This one goes like that, and that one goes on the top of the rigging right here. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. All right, folks, I got my fuel rig here, and it went on pretty easy. The platforms went on fairly easy. I had to do this one twice because it wasn't leveled with the first one here, but you know, that's an easy fix right there. I did put it on the ship right there, and I guess the platform kind of collides with the railing near the the tomahawks. So I guess that answers the question, is that if the sailor needs to get on there, they just jump off the tomahawk missiles. All right, well, kidding aside here, the next thing I'm going to be working on is the boat launcher, and this is the boat launcher for the starboard side of the New Jersey. And so the instructions on Pontos basically says to remove all of these things on here. So it's fairly simple. You just go ahead and get your clippers and cut all these puppies out. Kind of feel like I'm castrating something. And then this triangular piece is eliminated or deleted. There. This square piece, this one gets erased, terminated. And then you go ahead and start sanding it all down. And then, just kind of like a cooking show here, here is almost the finished product. Sanded everything out here and got my pieces all laid out right there. All right, so next step I'm going to do is I'm going to put these photo etch pieces onto this rig right here, or launcher I should say. All right, here is the boat launcher stuff here, all laid out. I already glued this portion up here, this piece right there. So I think the next step I'm going to do is going to put these on here. There's a little slot, if you can see in there, right there. And that's the attempt. So here we go. Let's go ahead and see if I can accomplish this. Hopefully it won't be too hard. Add a little glue. Or maybe too much glue. I don't know. All right, work fast, work fast. Oh, not too bad right there. I think that looks fine. Oh yeah, baby. All right, so the next step, I'm going to add this piece to here. And there's some slots right here. I'm not sure if you can see, but I'll just cover that in a little bit of glue. And then hope it works. There's one. There's two. looking good so far. Guess I could move this closer here to kind of match with that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make that adjustment, and then I'll put the ladders on the side. All right, I got that piece on, right? I know you can't see it. So I got the all the stuff on here. So next step, I'm going to go ahead and add these ladders on here, which took some time to get them all full. The ladder rungs folded out, so small. All right, let's go ahead and see if I can get this on here. Oh, it should go on like that. All right, well, you get the idea. You've seen me put ladders on there, so I'll let this set for a little bit. I know it kind of curved out, but once the glue hardens, then I'll add more glue to straighten it out, and we'll call it good. All right, folks, here is the boat launcher for the port side here. Looks pretty good. Went on fairly easy, so that's a good thing. I know you can't see it, so here we go. Hopefully that helps. But ladders took some time to get on there, but you know what? It's good enough for me. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on the port side boat launcher, and then we'll go ahead and get to the next step. I'm hoping I'll have enough stuff to paint here, because I still got to paint haze gray on this, as well on the fuel rig and parts of the superstructure, but we're getting closer. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the boat launchers all ready, all done, I should say. All I got to do is now is prime all these parts here and get them painted. I did add a couple of these antenna supports right here, because if I don't do that and I attach it to the boat, it's going to be hard to put on. I also put the stairs right here, which I hope will stay on. When I did a dry fit, I'm a little concerned that this ladder might just fall off, so we'll see what happens. Okay, my fuel rig right here, ready to go. The deck for the phalanx, ready to go to get painted. So now the plan is get all this primed, painted. After that, I'll put the railings on, and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the pieces that I needed to get painted all done here. Turned out pretty good. May have laid it a little thick, so it looks a little shiny in some areas, but you know, I'll just leave it as it is. It's fine with me. I did add some railings onto this phalanx platform right here, and I don't know, this is the Pontos part. The railing is part number 44. As you can see, I shorted it over here. The reason being is the bends just didn't line up with how it should. I tried doing it and it overshot the corner here by like 1 millimeter, which means if that's overshot by 1 millimeter, then this whole section of railing isn't going to line up. And then as you try to close the box, this gap would be pretty big. So you can see I have a small gap here. So I just had to improvise my bends, which, you know, I did the best I could. But you know, for some Navy ships, they usually have the bends at where the post is, but here it's not even lined up at all. I don't know if I got the wrong part or what, or if it's misnumbered, or Pontos just kind of screwed that up. So if you're working on this boat here, or on this model kit, you may want to double check and make sure that you get your bends properly done for this platform. Kind of sucks the way it looks, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as is. Now the next step I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and start putting the railings, the Tomahawk missiles, as well as the Harpoon launchers on this platform here, and then we'll go ahead and get it on the boat. And then eventually I'm going to have to paint the fuel rigs here and paint the boat launchers here. These things, little things right here, are supposed to be white. I'm sorry I'm too high up, but this is supposed to be white. So we've got some work to do, but we're getting closer to what we're trying to accomplish on this episode. All right, so I got the railings on here, most of it on here. So now the next part I got to do is add the Harpoon missiles on here. And I'm going to try this on camera, at least try one, and then I'll do the rest off camera. But I'll try using the super glue. My super glue is getting a little old, so I think I might need to go and get some new one. It's starting to gel up and make a bigger mess than it really should be. As you can see, it's starting to blob up right here. So let's see what I can do here. Hopefully I can get it in the right position. Looks pretty straight there. And there we go. All right. I'm going to let that set for a little bit, and I'll work on the other three here. See if I can try to bring you guys along for the ride here. I apologize if my hand's getting in the way. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't fall off when I put it on the ship there. Then there's this last one that I have here. I might have to reinforce this because I think it's starting to fall apart there. Quality build by me. All right. Sorry the lighting isn't great, but I think I got it. You know what? Each of these Harpoon missiles, when you saw the previous episode, and I think it's like episode 12 or something like that, maybe, I gotta look it up. Each one of these Harpoons are 49 pieces just to get one of these sets all together. And it's nice to see that after all that work, it's finally coming together. Oh, I'm getting closer to the end. All right, folks, I got the weapons deck all done here. I didn't put the stairs or the other railing that goes here yet. The Pontos instructions doesn't say what part the railing is on this one, but I think I have a guess on this one, or I think it might be part number 17. Anywho, I did put the antenna stuff here, one back here, which I did, I think, on episode 3 or something like that. And then this platform up here that goes on the rear smokestack, I just make sure I drilled a hole right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there. So I put the a brass antenna on here. All right, so the next step I'm gonna do here, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply it over here using the famous orange glue. All right, let's see what we can squeeze out of here. All right. looks secured on there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and inspect the starboard side here. All right, so I checked the starboard side on this and everything's glued down. Guess the only thing I'm kind of disappointed so far in myself is that there's a gap where the second funnel meets the platform of the Tomahawk deck right here. But I don't think there's much I could do. I guess for next time, maybe I should have double checked, and maybe I needed to add a piece of styrene on there. But you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna just leave it as is. I mean, what can you do now? Everything's glued down. So, oh well. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is put the phalanx system on here, as well as the other radar that goes right here. All right, I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Got my orange glue ready to go. Orange glue's been making a lot of appearances in this episode. Ooh, little spider web. That's okay. I'll get that all cleaned up. Yoink. Oh. Keep hitting these things. All right. Folks, this is starting to look like a finished ship here soon. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, time to add this last firing control thing here. I think the 13, MK13, sure, whatever it's called. Anyways, going to just add some glue here and hope that it sticks on there, which it should. Put a copious amount of glue on here, just like that. Make sure it's secured down. I had to sand the bottom of this because it was uneven, and now it should be even. Well, I might have to bring out the orange tube for this. Let's see how it settles. Yeah. All right. All right, I added the orange glue on here. And that should stick a lot better now. Oh, the Tamiya glue failed me on this one. That's okay. Hooray for the orange glue. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let that settle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put the last director on there. One of the best parts about when you're building a model here is when you start running out of parts, it means you're close to the end. It's probably too much glue. Perfect. All right, let's see if I can put this puppy on here. I'm probably blocking your view, and oh, cured already. All right, well, I think it's straight. Yeah, I think it's good enough. All right, well done, well played. All right, time to add the fuel probe here. Here she is. Add a little glue there. All right. it. I'll just let's see, make sure it's lined up properly. And we let it dry. As it dries, I want to explain that there are two ladders that go right here, one here and one there. This one's molded in over here, and I didn't see that on the Pontos instructions until very late into the build, so I have to leave that molded ladder there, but at least I got one of them. But that's number 26. So if you were ever to work on this, you want to go ahead and take that ladder out, the molded one right here, and replace it with number 26 on the Pontos instructions with the Pontos kit. Well, folks, here it is. I got the fuel probe all glued in as well. I believe I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode right now. I am almost completed all the objectives that we started out with. The only thing that I didn't do is put these boat launchers on. It's because I missed an area here to paint, if you can see it. So you got to get that painted, as well as these little things right here. These need to be painted white. Just kind of ran out of time. Yeah, everything looked good. All the work that was put in previous episodes, such as the harpoon missiles right here, finally was able to go ahead and put everything on here now. The rear half of the superstructure is looking good. It's starting to look more like a whole battleship now. Still got some work to do. I got to go ahead and get the ladders put in here and a couple over here. I'll do that in between episodes, like maybe after I post the video here. Still got a lot of work to do, but hopefully I can get everything wrapped up by the next episode. On the next one, I'm going to go ahead and work on putting the boat launchers on there, as well as getting those other boats put in place as well. Got some things to work on the aft of the ship here. I know there's some sort of cover here that goes over here, as well as some of the mushroom vents that need to be added, but that's pretty easy to do. One of the big things I need to address now that we've circled back to it is to get this helicopter pad put in place. And if you remember in the last maybe several episodes ago, I had problems with this, so I think I might have a solution, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments section. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. If you haven't, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. That would be great and helpful. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you all on the next episode.